Hey, this is Ryan, and I want to take you through the new grading system, at least for assignments, as it works in Moodle 2.3. Now, most of the things are going to appear relatively the same, but the protocol for doing them is a little bit different, and with Moodle 2.3, you have the ability to see some things and compare some things that you didn't necessarily have in Moodle 1.9. So let's take a look at what this looks like. If I want to click on this assignment here that says term paper, we can look at what an assignment grading would be like. I'm looking at this as the teacher, and when I come into my assignment here called term paper, it tells me the due date, but it tells me some other things as a part of this grading summary. It tells me how many participants are in class, how many have submitted their assignments, so I can look at this number and see if I have 5 students in class and only 4 have submitted, one person has yet to submit their assignment. The other thing this tells me is what students still need to be graded. So let's say out of those 5 assignments, I've only graded 3 or 4, and I still have 1 or 2 left to do. I can see that and compare that and go back into the assignment and say, oh, I need to grade these additional assignments. It tells me the due date, when the assignment is actually due, and the time remaining on the assignment. So if I wanted to go into the assignment and look how much time is left on this assignment, it's going to tell me in relation to that assignment how much is left. But what I actually want to do is this view and grade all submissions here at the bottom. If I click on this link, this gives me a kind of a spreadsheet, an Excel style sheet, to be able to go in and grade this term paper. So there's a lot of different columns and rows going along with this. So let me break down what each of these are. The first one, obviously, select if I wanted to choose an individual person. I don't need to do that for grading purposes alone. User picture, it'll give me the student's picture associated with their name. And then the status. So the status will change whether or not the student has actually submitted an assignment yet. If the student has submitted an assignment, it'll let me know the status has changed, and it'll say submitted. If they haven't done that, it'll let me know that there is no submission. The next is this checkbox for grade. So this is where I'd actually go in, click in, enter their score, and give a grade for that, which we'll do in a minute, and I'll show everybody how to do that. The next thing is edit, okay? And this allows me to do 2 things. Number one, it'll allow me to do the same thing as the previous column, let me do grade, but it'll also allow me to prevent changes to the submissions after a certain point. So if I wanted to go in for a specific student and say, okay, this is cut off, this is your final submission, I'm not going to let you submit this assignment anymore, if it's a running assignment or something like that, I can go in there and prevent any changes from that from happening. The last modified would be the last version the student turned in. The file submissions, if there's multiple of that assignment, or maybe there's more than one part to that assignment. The last modified, so when did I last go in and grade that assignment? Maybe I've gone in and changed the grade from a previous time. And then the final grade, what the student actually scored on that assignment. But for this specific one, what I actually want to do is go in and grade this assignment. Let's say I have a submission in there. What I'm going to do is start with this first name and click the checkbox that says grade. When I do that, it tells me the status, tells me it's not yet graded, and it tells me how much is remaining. In this case, the assignment is overdue, and if it's late on that time, I can look at that date or the date it's overdue by, and if it's a week overdue, maybe I alter the points and change the score based on how many days it's overdue. So that's a nice option that's available. But if I wanted to give a grade for this student named Sue, I'm going to maybe give a 90 for this assignment. I'm going to actually hit save. But what I like to do in this interface is hit save and show next. This is helpful if I'm trying to grade a whole lot of assignments at once, and I just want to methodically and consistently move through each grade and assign them as I go along. So I'm going to actually hit save and show next at this. And when I do that, that'll take me to the next student on my list. So if I go through, look at her paper, she gave me an 85 effort, I'm going to give her an 85 out of 100, and then do the same thing. And then so on and so forth. Maybe I get a 75 here. For myself, I got the worst grade in the class, I'm sure. Give an 80 here. And then maybe a 94 here. And then I'm just going to hit Save Changes. So When I hit save for that final time, you'll notice that what's happened here. Now all of the statuses are now marked as graded, even though there's no submission. Once there's an actual submission, you're going to see that change. But you're going to see grades for each of the individual students. And then for the final grade on the assignment, it's up here. It'll show how many points out of 100 was earned. The nice part about this is I can quickly move through the grading of assignments and not have to worry about pop-up windows or extraneous things going on the page. I can just go through a list of names and quickly grade and add those things. And if there's more than one students per section, if maybe you have 30 or 40 or a lot of students on that particular page, what I might do is change the assignments per page to a larger number. And since I only have 5 students in this class, it really doesn't matter. But I can change that number to a larger section of students if I wanted to cover more on a specific page than before. This also eliminates the necessity of an update button, because once I've given a grade for each student, then that student now has their grade and it's available to them at any time. I hope this was helpful for the assignment portions, and in later tutorials we'll get into how to do course grading and how to do setup of gradebook and things like that.